With free agency right around the corner, the Knicks have been linked to several big names, and one free agent that I think has gone under the radar is Kristaps Porzingis. Now, Porzingis obviously isn't the franchise player that the Knicks envisioned he would be when they took him number 4 overall back in 2015, and his exit from the team back in 2019 was ugly. But he's coming off a career year in Washington where he averaged 23 points per game. So how good is KP actually? How could he benefit the Knicks? And should the Knicks even go after him in free agency? Let's talk about it. So first, let's break down his game. I'm sure Knick fans know this from KP's years as a Knick, but he's really skilled offensively for a 7-footer. Porzingis shot the 3 really well last year. He knocked down 38% of his 3-pointers, and at 7'3" with a high release point, it's difficult for defenders to bother his shot. He's also got a nice handle for a player his size, and he can fake out defenders from the perimeter, get all the way to the basket, and finish. He just had the most efficient season of his career, shooting 50% from the field, and that's because he became a lot better at finishing in the paint. He's one of the better post-up players in the league, where his tremendous size allows him to not only score near the basket, but effortlessly get shots over defenders in the mid-range. And that tremendous size also makes him a huge plus on the defensive end, where he's regularly blocking and altering the shots of driving players. His 1.5 blocks per game ranked 8th amongst NBA players this season. Now, in terms of improving the Knicks, I think Porzingis could benefit New York in a multitude of areas. One big area where he could help out the Knicks is in terms of floor spacing. The Knicks were a poor 3-point shooting team, both in the regular season and in the postseason. Porzingis' ability to hit the 3 ball at a high percentage would pull opposing shot blockers out of the paint, which would give guys like Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle much more room to operate. He would add a new dimension to the Knicks' offense in terms of 2-man game. Now, the Knicks did run some 2-man game between Jalen Brunson and Mitchell Robinson, but not that much. And Mitchell Robinson is pretty limited as a pick-and-roll scorer because he's only scoring right at the basket. Porzingis not only can score at the basket at a high level, but he's also a threat to score from floater range and from mid-range, and he's also a pick-and-pop threat. Lastly, Porzingis is also a player that the Knicks can run some offense through. He isn't much of a playmaker, but he could score the ball efficiently from the high and low post. Overall, I think Porzingis could be a really nice talent upgrade and could also improve the Knicks' offense, and they probably can get him at a pretty reasonable price. Now, let's say the Knicks and Porzingis had mutual interest this offseason. The Knicks don't have any cap space, so he would have to come in a sign and trade. And it's been reported that Porzingis wants about $30 million annually over a 3 or 4 year deal. So in a hypothetical trade, I think the Knicks would probably give up Mitchell Robinson, throw in Evan Fournier to match salaries, and probably also give Washington a first-round pick. They own Dallas's first-round pick in 2024, so maybe they throw that in. Now, I have heard some Knicks fans suggest trading Julius Randle for Porzingis, and I don't think that's happening. I think a lot of Knicks fans are overreacting to Julius Randle's playoff performance. Don't get me wrong, he was horrible, but he also gave the Knicks great all-star production during the regular season, and I don't think it makes much sense for the Knicks to trade Julius Randle unless they're getting a clear upgrade and Porzingis is not better than Randle. I think a more realistic trade would be the Knicks giving up Mitchell Robinson and throwing in another piece and a draft pick for Porzingis. So Porzingis would essentially replace Mitchell Robinson as the starting center. And while there would be some drop off defensively because Mitch is the better defender, and some drop off on the boards because Mitchell Robinson was statistically the best offensive rebounder in the playoffs, what Porzingis brings on the offensive end compared to what Mitch brings would more than offset what they lose defensively and on the boards. And as I discussed before, Porzingis is a damn good defender in his own right, so he could still anchor a top-ranked Knicks defense. To me, the main downside when it comes to trading for Porzingis is his injury history. Now, he had a pretty healthy year this season. He played in 65 games, but before this season, he hasn't played in over 60 games since the 2016 to 2017 season. He has a huge history of suffering lower body injuries that have shortened his season, and players Porzingis' size tend to have injury-riddled careers. So it would look really bad on the Knicks if they trade for him and he plays in just 30 games next season. So that's the main risk when it comes to trading for Porzingis. But anyway, that's going to be it from me. Now I want to hear from you guys. Should the Knicks have interest in trading for Porzingis? What will be your trade offer? Tell me in the comments. Guys, I'm going to continue to talk about the Knicks all off season long. I'm gonna keep the content coming. So if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more dope content just like it, drop a like on the video and hit that subscribe button. I also did a video when I came up with 5 free agents that the Knicks need to consider signing. So if you haven't, go ahead and check that out. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day, guys.